Now joining us is Jay Matthew, executive producer of Bern the Movie. Go over to www.burnthemovie.com. I hope all of you guys in the audience listened to me and Bill yesterday and went and checked out that 15-minute sneak peek before this interview so you could get an idea of the movie. I cannot wait to see it. They're doing this and not doing it for a single penny. It's completely nonprofit. It humanizes Bernie Sanders. It's a great thing. Jay, I do want to appreciate you being on the show. Instead of me going on and on about it, I'll give you the opportunity to promote your film, say whatever you want to say about it. The floor is all yours, my man.
Okay, well, I didn't prepare a speech or anything. So that's
you can try.
That is, and just to be clear, that's Bern, B-E-R-N, the movie, not B-U-R-N. So this film is the film's going to be two parts. This first part that we're going to be releasing on the 27th is completely about Bernie Sanders, his life, growing up, where he comes from, where he learned, how he became the person he is today. I'll tell you this right now, and I'm going to be with 100% certainty that I'm sure some of your commentators on the show are wholly ignorant as to where this man came from and how he came up. There's a lot of information that is out there that is just completely untrue, and this movie is going to really educate people about, who he is as a person. We all know his policies. We all know his talking points, but we're going to be focusing the first part on the film of just being about his life and where that came from. And in regards to it being wholly nonprofit, I would think it's more accurate at this point to say that it's we are in debt because of this film. We're all paying out of our pockets for everything that we've done up until this point. We are raising money to help recoup the costs, but you are correct that as soon as we have raised enough money via donations, we are not going to be taking donations anymore, because the point of this is to really just get a film out there that tells a story and really helps capture a moment in this, our history right now. This is a very historical moment, unprecedented what's going on. And we're gonna try our best to really capture that. So the first part's going to be about Bernie, and the second part is going to be about what happens and who the people are in his campaign and where they're coming from and why this is happening to them. Why are they doing the things that they are doing? It's going to be very interesting, and you can definitely get some more information about what we're doing on the website. Again, that's burnthemovie.com, and I think that's a good intro.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it all came about,
great.
It all came about because I didn't know much about him. I knew enough. I knew a little bit. I knew that I liked the guy. I knew that he was pretty awesome. But I didn't, there are a lot of things about a candidate that I want to know before I really support them. And I just, I feel like there's so much more that I need to learn. The director of the film knows way more than I do. So I'm eager to see the movie too. To be honest.
We all know Bernie Sanders, the politician, but if you could enlighten our audience on the biggest thing, give me the number one thing that you want our audience to know about Bernie Sanders, the human being, what would that be?
That they're the same person. That there are not. I would say most politicians are a lot of different people to a lot of different people at any given time. But if you watch the 15-minute trailer and you turn off the video part and you only listen to the audio, you can't tell that spanned about 30 years. That is how authentic he is as a person and as a candidate. That they're the same person, and I find that quality to be extremely rare. I don't know very many people who are like that, and so I would say that he's very. I feel like he's such an average person in regards to how he's lived his life and the means. I think that a lot of people are going to be able to relate to him on a very human level via life experiences. I mean, not everyone had their extended family, killed in the Holocaust, but I think that the struggles that he and his family went through growing up are very similar to a lot of people today, which is very interesting, seeing that, there's been such a span of time that we still have such a large group of people today that are still experiencing the same struggles.
I actually did my homework. I actually listened to it a second time with my eyes closed. And again, the only difference that I heard between what he says now and what he said 30 years ago is when he went by the name Bernard. He used to be Bernard Sanders before the whole Bernie movement went on. You said the first part of the movie Go ahead.
He still goes by Bernard. His brother, we just got an email from his brother the other day, and his brother still calls him Bernard.
And two of the things I found most fascinating with your project, when we had spoken our pre-interview, you said you had no contact with the Bernie Sanders campaign. Do they know about it now? Because it's been getting quite the buzz. And do they know about what's coming? Or
I don't know if I have personally, I don't know how they couldn't know, given all the tweets and stuff that we have being sent at them. And at the same time, we've been getting a lot of support and a lot of, encouraging words from people working on the campaign that have seen it. And they said, oh, my gosh, that's amazing. I've never seen that footage before. So, I think I don't know what their official campaign is. We have no contact with them. We haven't heard anything. So I don't know. But, I'd love to get him to come watch the film in Philadelphia during the convention. We're going to be showing the film in a theater that's just about 10 miles away from the convention center. And we're going to try and send an invite to see if we can't get him to come watch the film, which would be really interesting.
And number two for me, I want to know whose idea that was to show it at the convention, because that is genius. Obviously, you'll be showing the film in its entirety there with the free popcorn and everything like that. Are you ready to plug the movie theater and the times and dates yet, or is that too premature?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. We're actually having that conversation tomorrow to really set that down. But I am really excited. We also had another person who was saying that they want to stream it on the side of the wall at the convention and maybe drive around with a truck that has slides going on it with just the audio playing. It's very interesting. But I don't know. It's just this is an evolving project. Things pop up, and we just got contacted by an art studio in Los Angeles that wants to do a showing of the film, and we were having a chat about it, and the idea kind of just came up that after watching the documentary, they're going to try and capture people's letters to Bernie after. They're going to learn about him, and then they're going to talk about how that movie made them feel, and we're going to see if we can't get them to record that and make a little mini series out of it.
Okay, I've got to know why it's good. I've got to know why it's a good thing that a man hasn't changed his mind in 34 years. You get new information.
Are you kidding me? Look at
there he is, call the cock. There it is.
Hold on. Look how inconsistent our politicians are. How are you able to trust people who are so easily swayed by outside influences that don't reflect a majority of the people in this country's needs? Our government is supposed to be, and right now, we have major corporations coming in and influencing our politicians, will and whim and their opinions just by giving them money. Like, it's how rare is it to actually find a politician that doesn't do that? Like, I think that's why it's important that, we look at politicians and we look at candidates that have consistency of record, because we can't keep electing people who say one thing and then they get into office and do something completely different. Look what happened with Barack Obama. Like, personally, I think he's probably the best president that we've had in a very long time. But aside from that, he's not the person that I think that people wanted to elect. And the things that he said he was going to do and the hope and the change that we were looking for turned out to be incrementalist. And they haven't, there are still millions of people without health care. There are still people dying every day because they can't go see the doctor. And that's not, after 8 years, I think that we were expecting a lot more. And, that's when a person says one thing and you get them elected and they don't do it, what happens to people after? They're not dead, they're demoralized and they're beat down and they don't trust people anymore, and then they suddenly don't want to vote. Like, that's what's killing our political system and political engagement in this country, is that we are electing people who are just false hopes and dreams. And after you put in all that effort and you put in all that time, and the person that you invested all of that in turns out not to be the person you thought they were, and they're not doing the things they said they would do, how does that affect our country? And that's negatively, and that's why I think that if we elect a person like Bernie Sanders, we know what we're going to get. We know that he's not going to just get in there and flip a coin and suddenly become someone that he has, someone else. And I think that's important. I think that that's something that people need to really take a look at. The question made me kind of scoff a little bit. I mean, what kind of question is that?
No, it's a great question. It's a great question. And here's what you guys do. And you've had your time. It's funny that you would go, oh, okay, well, he's been consistent and he's not going to flip on the coin on you. Or he's not going to flip the coin on you. I agree with you. Obama, not great. I would call him disastrous, one of the worst presidents we've ever had. But I want to acknowledge that you called me ignorant at the beginning of this, so I want that to sink in. As I ask you, how would you expect?
You can honestly tell me that you've spent a good hour, even 5 hours solid, really honestly looking at the person that is Bernie Sanders.
Yes,
I've looked at his policies. Absolutely. That's what matters. But here's
see,
what
the
matters.
Policies are only one thing. The person is really important. You can't keep looking at policies. You can't keep looking solely at talking points, and you have to look at the person. There has to be a full picture there.
No, they're a government official, not a god. They're not Jesus, so I don't care about that. I care about their policy proposals. But I wanted to ask you this:
people.
How would you?
And you have to recognize that.
Kind of. But I'm not here to.
Well, then you're not
go after a personality cult.
Then you're just a radio personality. Great. You're nobody, right?
I'm a radio personality now. But hold on, let me ask you my second question, and then you can get back to your Bernie worship. But if he is somehow elected?
Wow.
If he is somehow elected, how in the world is he going to pass anything and make any of this go through the legislative branch? I think they're going to block him on all of his ridiculous ideas for free health care, for free education, for free this.
They are what
I hear he's probably giving out pots of chicken.
I mean, I think that he answered that question already. He's not. He's expecting us to make that happen. And I know Barack Obama said something very similar, but he didn't put that effort into really empowering us as citizens, because it's really not the government's place to be doing all of this stuff. We elect these people. We are the ones that are supposed to be making these decisions. They are supposed to be representing us. And if he can empower and engage and get people active in the political process, he's not going to be the one who needs to do it. We are going to be the ones.
Hate the government, bigger government. Sounds great.
Well, I don't think that's exactly what I said. I think what I said was that people need to get involved and influence the government. It's not the government getting bigger, it's the people getting bigger and getting more active involved. When you have 12% of people in the country engaged in the political process, who's really running the country? The government. But if we had 80, 90% of the citizens involved in this country actively involved in the way our politics are going and how the country's run, you can't call that bigger government. You call that bigger people participation, because we are supposed to be the ones running the government, not the other way around.
Oh, this is such a glorious interview. Jay, can you join us for another segment, please? Do you care to join us for the rest of the show?
Sure.
Awesome. This is so great. We will be back with the executive producer of Bern the Movie, Jay Matthew. Highly recommend it to all of my Bernie people out there. Go to burnthemovie.com. That's BERN, themovie.com. Let's feel the burn, baby. We're back with Jay Matthew, executive producer of Bern the Movie. Go over to burnthemovie.com. That is BERN, themovie.com. Now, over the break, Jay, you had told me that you're getting a little bit tired of the redundant hate on Hillary Clinton. Why is that?
Well, I mean, those commercials are just ridiculous. I mean, there are so many other things out there that people could be focusing on, and I'm just baffled by the fact that they're focusing on Benghazi and her emails. I mean, it's just so literally there are thousands of other issues that are really more relevant to a majority of the people in this country, and they're focusing on the most ridiculous, like, fringe-sounding ones possible. Just, I don't think that's wise investment of money if you're going to be attacking someone.
Now,
I would be making much more targeted commercials.
I could definitely debate you on this particular situation, but I think it would be coming better from a conservative Trumpian Bryden. Bryden, do you care to go ahead and support or defend, I should say, the anti-Hillary movement?
Of course, it's a huge deal. That's why the FBI is investigating her. That should be your number one thing is, hey, I'm not running the risk of being indicted by the FBI. It's a huge deal. And to just go, okay, we didn't lose anybody. That. So then what's your point? From a political strategy, from a campaign strategist point of view, that should be where you're going after. But at the time, it was advantageous to, because we didn't know as much as we know now, to say, I don't care about your damn emails. But it does make a lot of sense.
I think we shouldn't be
focusing
all of the conversations on that. I mean, there really are thousands of other issues that could be being talked about. Her transcripts, the speeches, the money that's coming in, how inconsistent she is with her policies. There's so many more. I don't agree that these issues. I agree that these issues are important, but I wouldn't say that they're. Oh my gosh, they're the main talking points are just outrageous. Majority of people, I don't think, can really relate to those two things.
That may be true, Jay, but you know what? She hasn't given a good answer to the emails, nor has she given a good answer about Benghazi. She changes all the time. She blames everyone else. If she wants to have the highest office in the land, she's got to prove, she obviously uses her, political clout in the job she's had prior. If she's proved incompetent by not knowing what emails are or letting Americans die for no reason, then how can we make her commander-in-chief?
Hey, I'm just saying that y'all could do better.
Hey, we're doing fine.
We got a Southern one there.
We're doing fine because at the beginning of this, weren't we getting laughed at? Look at how many people there are on stage. They don't have a chance. And then it was, oh, man, they're going to go to a contested convention. Well, look at this now. Now you guys are going to the contested convention. We got our nominee long before you did. So I think we're doing okay.
Well, I'm glad you're happy with that.
More than happy, and you'll be happy with Trump, too.
Is that true to say, Jay? Would you be happy with Donald Trump as president?
There was a really good movie out that was called Idiocracy, and I really feel like that's going to be a very similar scenario there. If it does happen, I can just imagine him doing something that gets him impeached in a second. Bill almost got impeached just for philandering on the side. I can only imagine what illegal thing.
They just never upheld the impeachment.
Oh, well, I just can only imagine what illegal thing Donald Trump will do. If he goes into the casino business not knowing about casinos, if he goes into the hotel business without knowing about hotels, it's probably going to be the same thing that happens when he goes into the presidency not knowing about being a president or what that even really means. I can just imagine that he's going to say or do something. He's going to say or do something that's going to get him out. Because, again, remember, this country's not run by the government. It's run by people. And if he does something that's not right, they're going to get him out. So, I don't know. It might be entertaining on a really sick, twisted level, but it's not something I really hope to see.
But Jay, I'm a little bit confused, though, of how you can go against the anti-Hillary movement and you love Bernie Sanders as much as you do. It's two completely different realms. I just don't understand how you can defend that corruption.
I'm not. I'm just saying that I think that the commercials could be better. It's not that I'm defending her. I just think that there are so many better ways that it could be done that would appeal to more people. It just baffles my mind.
So if you were the executive producer of this show, what kind of Hillary commercial would you recommend? How would you do it?
I mean, as the executive producer, I don't know if you get a say in that kind of stuff, do you?
At this show, you can.
Oh.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
I don't know. I don't even want to speculate on that. My mind is not there. But, I just really think that it just confuses me what's going on with all that. And I don't really know who you're trying to appeal with those messages. I mean, the people who would be persuaded by those messages that you have already been persuaded by them. I don't see anybody new getting brought on board with such old issues. I feel like those were
not true.
commercials.
Well, that's not true because I had a debate with a Hillary Clinton supporter on Facebook, for example, and they were die-hard writing for Hillary Clinton, and by the end of the debate, they had switched over to Bernie Sanders. So you can sway people. It is possible.
Oh, well, yeah. It's not too difficult, I don't think, to have conversations with people in that regard.
Well, isn't that what you're trying to do with Bern the movie? I mean, you're trying to influence a little bit by humanizing Bernie Sanders.
Great question.
Trying to do the same thing by humanizing Bernie Sanders. I mean, obviously, there's not going to be Trump the movie because obviously they'd be charging $15 at the movie theater and charging $8 for popcorn. And they were trying to, capitalize on every.
He hasn't.
Thank you, Jay. He could fund his own movie.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't done such a thing like that. I mean, that's interesting. There would be a documentary on Hillary Clinton, but she shut them both down. And there was a television show in the works too, that apparently her campaign also shut down. So I mean, what we're doing is we're trying to tell a story that's absent. And the thing is that while I might be a more politically active person and someone who's more engaged in the political process, professionally in the past have been the people that I'm working with to make this film are professional documentarians. They make movies and commercials commercially for large corporations, and they are extremely professional people who are dedicated to making a film that is going to be very along the lines of a PBS style documentary, something that you would see in classrooms. This is not going to be a commercial for Bernie Sanders. This isn't going to be something that has been sterilized by a campaign or has been approved. Like, this is going to be a film that's made by documentarians, and they are going out and looking at the truth as they find it and as they are seeing it and as they are putting it together. It's not but it's definitely not going to be a commercial. It's going to be educational. And the people who know and love Bernie Sanders already are really going to like it, but it's the people that are looking for this kind of information that are going to be appreciative of being able to see something that isn't going to turn them off by trying to be persuading them one way or another. And they're working very, that's why I'm not the one who is directing the film, because then it probably would be a commercial. But the people working on directing and producing the film in that regard, we're not going to be making a commercial.
Bryden, you had said something off air about how you don't like liberals and you don't like Jay, who happens to be a liberal. What is your overall opinion on Jay Matthew, not the executive producer, but Jay Matthew, the liberal?
Jay Matthews, he's an okay guy from what I can tell. I just met him. He seems okay. I think you're very wrong. I think you're very naive, and I would love to talk to you more about this. That would be fantastic. I'm always open up to talking to people, but you're just, I don't know, you're not for me. We'd have to get a few beers in us.
Wow.
Oh, this guy. Bryden never disappoints.
You hear that, Mom?
Oh, man. Bill.
You said the part 1 is coming out May 27th. We'll try and bring it back a little bit in closing. Do we have a date scheduled for part 2 to come out?
The second part's going to be coming out early February of next year, possibly late July of next year. We're going to be going to Philadelphia, of course, to be showing the film, but we're also going to be there to capture what's going to be happening at the convention, because it's pretty clear that there is going to be a contested convention, and there is going to be a lot of activity going on down there that we're going to be reporting. I think that that's going to be a major point in the story that's going to be being told. So we're going to be down there.
It's going to be a sad ending.
Well, it's going to be very interesting,
wow.
let me tell you. Yeah.
Oh, Bryden, you.
But for who?
Jay
Matthew, I mean, that's the real question.
Jay Matthew, executive producer of BurnTheMovie.com. That is BERN, We do appreciate you joining the show, sir. This has been absolutely fun.
It's been interesting for sure. This was the most. I've done 2 of the other of these, and this has been the most interesting one so far.
We definitely are.
I like you, buddy.
You're more than welcome to come back when we get closer to Philadelphia to promote it a little bit more. If you want to come back.
You don't want to come back, I don't blame you.
Once we release the film, too, I would love to come back and just talk with you guys, especially after you've watched it, and just to make sure that's the stipulation. I'll come back if all of you on here watch it, so that way we can talk about it.
Absolutely.
Hey, I watched the first 15 minutes twice, and I'm not voting for your boy. So
that's cool. And see, there you go. We must not be doing a very good job being making Bernie commercials if we didn't persuade you.
Well, he's a conservative. I don't think you're going to sway his conservative
ass. It's interesting. But even as a conservative, it's interesting, right?
Without question. And you know what? I will back up what you said, because most people in the political process tell half-truths and mistruths and whatnot. But as far as the movie saying, and when you came out and said that it's not a commercial for Bernie, I can say as a Trump supporter, it's really not. It's as level as that project could possibly be, at least from the 15-minute trailer. And I'm really excited to see the end of it. And again, we're not talking about my horse in the race here, but I definitely want to see how this story is told through your producer's eyes.
Bill, Bryden, you dirty, dirty, dirty Republicans, vote Bernie Sanders.
The Andrew Powell Show.